Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jaylee. Did you miss me? Alright, so I have not given a financial update, I think since August or September, and then I think I'd paid off like $213,000 worth of debt. And as of today, let's see where it's at, shall we? So the consumer debt was gone like last March, but we have been following the Dave Ramsey steps. We didn't start off that way in the beginning, in case you're wondering. Like, we started off like just getting some basic like financial advice. And you know what? Like, I learned many years ago that the higher power, God, like, he knows better than all of us, you know? And he had a book, the Bible, where he kind of tells you how to do everything. And there's a financial plan in there. There is. And he doesn't like debt. And he likes you to tithe, which means he wants 10% of the money that he gives to you back. Okay? And I lost my job in just... My life got very complicated very fast. Like, life was good. When Chad and I first got married, which was like 12 years ago, we probably brought home over $100,000 a year combined, and our monthly bills were like $500 a month, maybe 1,000 tops if you like include utilities like phone and everything. Like, rent was $500, and so we were sharing a house, and it was just, life was fun, you know. And then we're going along, and I was working for my dad and his brother, who were business partners. They've been in business together since like 1978. And yeah, 1978, August of 1978. That was the year I was born. But they were business partners for a really long time, and they did point of purchase displays for like Wilson and Durasoft, like the contact lens people, Duracell. They did all these things, and over them, life was good. And then when the housing market hit, because their business at that time had grown like just to where it was so tied in with housing that it really took a dive, and I ended up leaving that job. And that was in January 2010. And then I got sued for leaving that job. My family did. And life was really thick and complicated. Had no money. I mean, it was like a joke every time we paid the mortgage, like, because we are, I mean, everybody was losing their homes back in 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. I mean, you could be on unemployment for almost 2 years at that point, and so many of my family members in that were losing their homes. And like, you'd make the mortgage payment, and we just knew from watching the court systems and the relatives, like, you pretty much have 2 years from when you make your last, oh yeah, my Christmas tree, I've been sick, and that's coming down tomorrow. But like, you pretty much had 2 years from like the last day you paid your mortgage until you're getting like kicked out by the sheriff. And I mean, it was to a point where it's like, when we made the mortgage, like, we joked, oh, we have 2 more years, because that's how bad it was. It was really scary and sad, and that went on for a long time. There were no jobs, and nothing was really going on, so my dad and I decided to go into business for ourselves. And we started that in July of 2010. And we've steadily been growing that business, but it's not been growing like I want it to the past couple of years, and I really want that to change this year. And I don't want to be so hands-on, but when all this stuff was going on, and like, here I am in the, like, we're broke, okay? We're like praying to keep our house. Every vehicle we have is like at least 10 years old. I have no insurance, and then God says, you know what would be a good time for? A baby. Here you go. I know you weren't planning this, but surprise! And I got pregnant in November, or, oh, I guess we don't really know, because we don't keep track. I mean, we're not like big birth control people, and yeah, it took us 6 years to get the one, so I just figured maybe we can have kids. Who knows, right? And Peyton was born in May of 2012, and life was just chaotic. Like, no maternity coverage. I mean, I'm like, the hospital bill was like buying a car. Oh, I'm so blurry. Why am I blurry? Okay. And it just like everything was more and more complicated. I was more and more stressed. I was having like these panic attacks over money and the lawsuits, and like I think I was in the postpartum depression. I got that on top of it. It was great. So I think I cried every day for a year. Like, even if it wasn't private. It was really, really sad and stressful. And then when Peyton turned 2, I was having, like, I didn't put her in daycare right away. I had her go like a few hours a day when she was like 18 months old, just so she could be around other kids, because I only have the one. And as my business started to grow and I started figuring out what was working for me to make some more money, I put her in daycare full time. She loved it. But then it was like another expense. I mean, daycare is like, especially for little kids, it could be $200 to $300 a week depending on where you live. And you know, it's like, well, I'm not bringing home an income because it's all going to daycare, but you know, it was paying the mortgage at least. There was nothing extra. But I still had, like, from the lawsuit and starting the business, I had over $110,000 of credit card debt. I had about $200,000 in like personal loans. Yeah, $200,000. College education was paid for. Got my 2 degrees with 60 grand and whatever. That I could cash flow, but that was before all that. That was like back in the 1990s when things were good. And it was in 2014, and I'm looking at this. When I wrote it all down on paper, I had over almost like $750,000 worth of debt, folks. Over $750,000 worth of debt. I mean, a lot of that's mortgages and equity lines and business loans and stuff, but I'm sitting here and then it's like I have this lawsuit. Like, I have this person in the world who financially wants to take me out because they hate me so much, and they're a relative, which, I mean, that is kind of what it boils down to. And I'm like, you know, here I am with this kid. It's Christmas time and I'm totally depressed. It was December, I think, of either 2014 or 2015. I think 14. And I was so depressed. I'm sorry, I'm trying to open up my spreadsheet here. Like, I just like, fuck it. I am so done and over this. I am not doing this anymore. I am not gonna be in debt, and I am not gonna go through this lawsuit and where this person thinks they wanna try and control my money. I'm gonna make all my money come from someplace else that they don't have access to it from. And that's like a whole other weird thing. But it was in January of 2015 that I'm like, you know, how do you simplify your life? How do you simplify your finances and get it all in working order? It's not easy to do, you know, it's tough and it's hard work. And I think, you know, maybe if you're grown up in a house where it's debt-free and your parents talk to you about budgeting and all, that's fine. My parents never budgeted. They always had, well, I thought they had a lot of money, but now that I'm older and I'm looking at their stuff, they lived on so much borrowed money. Like, they didn't have a lot of like credit card debt, that type of thing. But man, their house and their properties, it's like they never paid them off. They just kept refinancing and refinancing and refinancing. And, you know, and my mom has RA, which is rheumatoid arthritis. It's pretty bad. She's disabled for the most part, which is why we all live together. You know, we're a family unit and we help each other. We have 2 separate living quarters, which I'm sure you've seen in different videos. We got an upstairs kitchen, downstairs kitchen, upstairs living room, downstairs living room. But we do all, like, we grocery shop as a whole, we eat dinner together, all this stuff. Fun. But in or in December, I'm like, screw it. Like, January 1st, I am figuring this out. And I asked a pastor, I'm like, what does God want you to do with your money? And he gave me some, was it the Psalms? Like, or Proverbs. He's like, that's your financial education. Go read it. And then as I was Googling like these biblical principles on like, you know, how does God want you to spend your money? Because if you do what he wants, you know, obey, he rewards. That's how God works, okay? Not saying if you're following, you're gonna be rich or anything like that. No, okay? God does, money to God is, no. He gives you what you need. And sometimes he blesses you with more. Sometimes he doesn't. It's his thing, whatever. So, when I first started, I went on this, I was talking to, was it Rick Warren, who wrote The Purpose-Driven Life. He's from Saddleback Church in California. I live in Illinois, okay? I'm just looking for advice here. And he was like, do 10-10-20, 10-10-80, and dig out. Like, start paying off the debts. Live within your means. Do not charge anymore. Figure out what your budget is. And this was in January of 2015. And so we tithe 10, we save 10, and the rest of the 80 we figured out how to live off of and pay off our debt. It was like a really big change for my parents, who were so used to like using credit cards and paying it later, because we did get rid of all the credit cards. We didn't cut them up. We just didn't use them. And it was a shock for some of them. It was a little bit of a shock. A little bit. Especially for my dad. He's not one to be told like when he can't buy something and whatnot. But I did that until about, I think I found Dave Ramsey later that year. And by that time, I already had like a significant amount of savings from putting 10% away for the 8 or 9 months. And, you know, I was tithing. And then when I found his baby steps, it was like, okay, like, it was nice that there were steps, because I never really thought about what I was going to do after the debt was paid off. Like, investing and that type of thing, or college. I didn't think that far ahead. I was just so obsessed with the debt. And then once I found his baby steps, I'm like, oh, that's like a plan past this. That's pretty cool. And so I watched his podcast and listened to his show for a long time, read his books, The Total Money Makeover. We didn't go through Financial Peace University until February of 2017. And by that point, we had already finished pretty much baby step 3 by doing the 10%. And then we only had like a handful of consumer debt left. Well, I guess not, because that was in April. So we were pretty close to being done with baby step 2. Maybe we weren't this far on baby step 3. Maybe we were like halfway done with that. And we finally got, and then I was ready to like be totally debt free in January of last year. And if you look at my videos, like the Saturday, or like the Thursday before the Saturday where I was gonna pay off my final debt, Chad came to me that he had this secret credit card debt. And I don't even remember like how much it was anymore. But it was like, it was thousands. It was sad and depressing. And I took it out of savings and we paid it right away, because I just wanted to like forgive him for it and move on. Because I think if I'd have made payments on that, it would have been like, just like that constant reminder of, it was like a betrayal thing. Especially since we went through Financial Peace University and he didn't say anything about it at the time. So that was bad. But we were done with baby steps 2 and 3 around February, March of 2018. And most of 2018, like once that was done, I took a breath, because like, I had been working so hard on my business to pay off this debt and get, now mind you, not only did I get myself and Chad debt free, but my parents as well, and our businesses. So I had like all these different pots I was maneuvering, and it was crazy. And once that like weight was lifted, even though I still had debt, I mean, I still have like 3 or 4 mortgages I gotta pay on different properties and all this stuff, but like once the consumer debt was gone, like the credit cards and that, when we're on more like the long-term debt, I just took a breath. It was like, ugh. But unfortunately, when I took the breath, things started to fall apart. Like, my motivation was gone. The savings, like baby step 3 and savings for retirement and college is a lot. To me, it's almost harder than baby step 2, because in baby step 2, it's like finite. You can see the end. There's numbers there. When the debt's gone, it's gone. And like steps 3, 4, like college fund. Can you ever really have enough money for college? I don't know, you know? I mean, paying off the mortgage early, that's, you know, finite. That has an end, but that ain't gonna be anytime quick. I think like even with my plan, which I'll tell you in another video, to pay it off early, like we refinanced in 2014, and I did a 30-year mortgage because I didn't know any better at the time. And like even like with the plan I have now, it's only going to be a 20-year instead of 30, which I mean that's a lot, but I wish it could be different, and maybe it will, but I don't know. So yes, as of August, or actually, yeah, so we had paid off like $213,000, and as of today, my total debt payoff, like including the extra for my mortgages and stuff, not the principal that's due, just like the extra that we've put in, that is $222,103.59. And I have, would you like to know how much more I have to go? It's just under a little, like, this is just like a long-term debt stuff, not like consumer debt. About $425,000. So we're like, oh, you're gonna do debt-free scream? No, it's like consumer debt. Like, I think a debt-free scream should be like mortgages and all that stuff too. So, I don't know. Maybe Dave won't be around by the time I pay off my debt. I hope he is. Mr. Ramsey, I hope you live a long, healthy life. But, yeah. So, it's really not, it's like maybe $9,000 in the, let's see, September, October, November, December, January. So in the 5 months, like $2,000 a month maybe. I don't know, I'm kind of disappointed in that progress. I do think a lot of it is like, I've kind of lost my motivation. Like baby step 2, when you're paying off that debt, it is motivating as like one's being after another is getting paid off and all that. But now I'm stuck in this period of like mortgages and like business loans that I'm paying off that, I mean, a lot of them I still have 10 years to go on, and it's kind of just, it's a little depressing, but it is what it is. And so I'm trying to come up with a plan. I am expanding my businesses this year. I'm opening up a new store, hopefully by the end of this month, which I'm excited about. It's gonna be mainly online, and you know, hope to grow this plastics factory that I have now, and just, you know, keep moving forward. And I love YouTube for debt-free information. I don't know anybody else in my world who's debt-free or tried to go on a debt-free journey, and the debt-free community here on YouTube is so wonderful, and the people are so supportive. I started watching back in 2015. I watch shows that I don't miss, or channels that I follow for debt-free is, I follow funcheaperfree.com, Jordan Page. When I first started, I think it was Jessica Ashley or Ashley Jessica. She hasn't posted much in a while. And then there was Life with Sarah. She's not posted in a really long time. The former Mrs. Jones, though, Christy, she still posts like weekly. I mean, she doesn't do as much of the debt-free stuff, but she does like a lot of meal planning and food hauls and that. But if you go back in the beginning, she has some great like Dave Ramsey info, and her story is really interesting too. And who else do I follow? Did I say Gia from Marriage and Motherhood? I follow her. And Charles, her husband, is a hoot. I love it. His facial expressions, they just kill me. Because he's like in the video, but he's like, I'm not sure if I want to be in the video. Charles is funny. Come on, we want more Charles, Gia. And who else did I start in the beginning? Budget Girl. I mean, how do you not follow Budget Girl if you're in the debt-free community? And I watch Lydia Sen. She's great for debt-free stuff. Slay This Debt, His and Her Money. Was it like Debt Kicking Mom? There's so many good resources out there in the debt-free community. And if you know of one that I haven't mentioned, I mean, please share it below so I can watch too, because I love it. You know, I just want to help people get to where they want to be and financial freedom. 'Cause you know what? When you ain't got no money, or business is slow and you don't have any bills, like, do you have any idea how much stress is you don't have to experience when you don't have all that debt? Ugh. Someday I'll get there. But we are in baby steps 4, 5, and 6. I want to do a video until we did meet with us. Was it Smart Investor Pro? We did interview several of those, and we picked one, and we started investing, and we started saving for college. And that's what I want to share with some of you guys coming up very soon, because there's not a lot of stuff on 4, 5, and 6. And 4, 5, and 6, you know, 2 is very exciting. 3, baby step 3 is kind of like watching grass grow, because it's a slow process. And then 4, 5, and 6 is like it's like the maintenance cycle, you know? Like, you're gonna be in 4, 5, and 6 until you're in 7, which could be like 10, 30 years. So that's where I'm at, and that's it. I left work early today. We're supposed to get snow. Like, I don't know, they said 1 to 8 inches. How accurate is that? And so I'm home by myself. My child is with my mother in my sister's house playing with her kids. I'm going to edit YouTube videos and chill. And I wish you the best of luck on your debt-free journey. Let me know where you're at, what baby step you're at. If you finished 1, 2, and 3 and are on 4, 5, and 6, like, what step was the hardest for you? What step were you the most motivated in? What step were you the least motivated in? And if you have any advice for 4, 5, and 6, let me know, because that's where I'm at. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell below, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.